Hey, so you probably clicked on this video because you have the middle of your draft position right in the middle, and you're not really sure how to navigate, or you want some tips and tricks on how to build that roster to dominate your league. Look no further than this piece of content right here. As always, if you're new to the channel, a like or a comment would go a long way. And if you really like what you see here today, a subscription goes a long way. Completely free to you, really helps out the channel. I'm going to be open and honest with you guys. My favorite spot to draft from any draft, doesn't matter if it's 10, 14, 12, is the middle. I like the middle. Allows me to sort of have a little bit of flexibility, not have to reach on players as much, and really kind of pick the guys that I want to have on my teams. I have my draft board here with me. I am mock drafting on Sleeper. We are doing a 12-team half PPR draft from the 106 slot. And as you can see, the title of this video, I am targeting Justin Jefferson with my pick. However, if things go awry, I'll probably take value where it is, but it might be with Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase. So the goal here is wide receiver after what I'm hoping is going to be a pretty steady running back run. Kind of funny there. All right, let's jump into this without further ado. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. Drafting from the 106, I will start this draft up and we will see what falls to us. So Henry, Taylor, Harris, Kupp, Eckler, and as expected, we do have our choice. Now, Christian McCaffrey is still on the board, and I should absolutely take Christian McCaffrey. But to be honest with you, I'm not expecting Najee Harris to go at 103. This kind of feels a little bit out of place. Let's go ahead and just see if, there we go, McCaffrey. This is probably a little bit more likely for your home leagues. So Dalvin Cook is a consideration 100%. But I think that Justin Jefferson is a difference maker at his position, and we've seen some narrative come out about the Minnesota Vikings with a new offensive coordinator wanting to push the passing game a lot more in 2022. So that's why I'm bullish on Jefferson and Thielen as well at value, but I'm going to take Justin Jefferson as I do believe he is the play. Kind of some popular builds is to hammer wide receiver early and then take some running back values in the later rounds, that quote unquote dead zone. I still think there's value. When it comes to me here, I kind of have a decision to make. Do I want to start out with, wide receiver, like a Jefferson and Lamb or a Jefferson and Samuel combo? Or do I want to go and take somebody like Javonte Williams, who I have projected very high this year? Landon and I have him ranked at running back 6 on the year because I do believe that the Denver Broncos feature Javonte Williams much more so than they did last year. I see this more of like a 70-30 split than a 50-50 split. So Javonte Williams, metrics off the charts, projects to be in a much better situation this year from a workload standpoint and an offensive standpoint. They brought in Russell Wilson. This offense is going to put more points up on the board, or at least they should, in my opinion. So I'm going to go kind of anchor wide receiver, anchor running back, and then from here, take value where I see it. But the goal here today will be to stack as many wide receivers and running backs at value that I can, and then punt the position of quarterback and tight end until later. Resist those, positional advantages, like a Kyle Pitts here, like a Justin Herbert here. Resist those guys and go on to take skill position players like AJ Brown, for example. So I will take AJ Brown as my wide receiver 3, which is going to make it really hard to pass on Jalen Hurts in, 3 or 4 rounds from now, but I'm going to do my best to do so. Hoping Travis Etienne falls to us here, and he does. And I'm not going wide receiver, running back, like in a pattern. It's just how this draft is kind of shaking out. But if we look at the running back tiers here, Travis Etienne, for me, is in a tier above Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, and A.J. Dillon. So it makes sense for me from a tier-based drafting approach to go ahead and take Travis Etienne because he's the last of his tier. He's, to me, more valuable than this tier of wide receiver. McLaurin, Sutton, Waddle, Metcalf, Robinson, I have in that tier. So I have a lot of pick from this tier of wide receiver, but I have one pick from this running back tier. So I'm going to go ahead, stay balanced, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs to start. Really liking the way that this draft is unfolding. And the 5th round is where you really start to see, where is my team heading? What players am I favoring? Josh Jacobs, like I said, this is where we're looking into our tiers. All of those wide receivers in that second tier went: Sutton, Waddle, McLaurin, Brown, Metcalf. I feel like we do have, Allen Robinson is still available. Chris Godwin also available, which is an interesting topic of conversation. When I look here, I'm sort of thinking, okay, I've got Williams and ETN. I like that for a PPR style league. What running backs could I potentially get in a couple rounds? Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, Rashad Penny, Dameon Pierce will all be popular picks for me. And as my running back 3s and 4s, probably an okay spot to spend value. I'm not overly bullish on Josh Jacobs or Elijah Mitchell. Josh Jacobs, I think, could be in a committee. And the same thing with Elijah Mitchell, with Tyrion Davis-Price and Jeff Wilson, not to mention whatever you think about Trey Sermon. So I'm kind of avoiding both of these running backs. I know that there is a lot of love for Josh Jacobs. I am unfortunately not on that side of the fence. So I think the value here for me exists in wide receiver, because I do, again, see Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin ahead. You could take Jerry Jeudy. I already have Javonte Williams. Not that that makes a huge difference for me, but the guy that's going to make a huge difference if healthy and if trending ahead of schedule is going to be Chris Godwin. So it's a little bit of a reach, but I do think that Godwin plays sooner than we believe. And I'm willing to take a shot on him to win my league, and to replace him with somebody down the road, a wide receiver that I can pick up. I'll make do for the weeks that he misses. Okay, this is where we have to sort of peek at the entire board and see sort of in 12 picks who's going to come back to us. Again, I talked about Chase Edmonds. I talked about Rashad Penny. Those guys project to be sort of in range for us. It kind of comes down to, who do we want to have as our next wide receiver. I talked about Chris Godwin maybe not being ready for us right away. And while Dalton Schultz and TJ Hawkinson are both very appealing at the tight end position, again, we're going to pass and we're going to take somebody who projects to have a ton of volume, and that's Darnell Mooney. So Mooney will help that Chris Godwin pick mature a little bit better than maybe, say, previous other consideration there. Kareem Hunt would have been solid. Nice to see Miles Sanders go off the board, not somebody that I'm wanting to contemplate taking on my teams. And I think in this range, I mean, obviously we want to peek just a little bit at what the quarterback situation looks like, keeping an eye on Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, 2 quarterbacks I would happily take if they fall to me, let's say in the 9th round, 8th, 9th round, for example. Outside of that, I'm very happy with taking an upside shot on Trey Lance and sort of backing him up with a Kirk Cousins, sort of building that mold. I did read a nice tip, and I've never really thought about it in this way, but a nice tip from Sal Vetri on Twitter, really good DFS player. He sort of issued the statement that the later you take your QB1, the sooner you take your QB2. And I think that's a really good way to look at it if you're punting the position, having 2 quarterbacks to stream players, a decent option if you would like to go that route. So something I would throw in there. But I think it's glaringly obvious Chase Edmonds is probably the best pick for us. We could also go with the Penny approach between the two. I think the Miami offense is just going to be so much better. And even though there's more competition for targets for Chase Edmonds, I do believe he is the appropriate pick here. So I'm going to go with Edmonds, get our running back 3 in place to go with, I think, a very solid set of wide receivers with Jefferson, Brown, Godwin, Mooney, and Rashad Penny still available. So This is where we have to make the decision of, do we take an upside shot on Rashad Penny, or do we take the beautiful value on Dak Prescott? Because Prescott and Rodgers are probably both going to be gone before it gets back to us. We also could take a shot on Trey Lance if they did go. The fact that I was considering Penny over Edmonds tells me that I need to just sort of pivot off of Prescott and take that value, because look, the most important position in football, fantasy football, is the running back position. If Rashad Penny comes out and did what he did in the last 4 or 5 weeks, which was the running back one, if he continues that sort of workload and pace, not to say he's going to be an RB1, but like, it's not outside of the realm of opportunity and possibility for him that if he gets a full workload, that he's going to be the guy. Ken Walker still trending to not be ready for week 1. So I'm going to take Rashad Penny. Didn't see myself going down that road, but that's why we mock draft. Penny, a nice target for me. And as we see, Prescott goes off the board, but Aaron Rodgers is left. And I think in the middle of the 9th round, Aaron Rodgers is a very, very safe quarterback. He doesn't have the mobility like a Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance. We don't get that rushing floor, but Aaron Rodgers is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. He doesn't throw interceptions. So we're going to go ahead and take Aaron Rodgers here and hopefully come back and grab Cole Komet, who, if you guys have watched previous videos of me building out these how to win your league from the beginning, end, and now middle, Cole Komet is a tight end that I am targeting ad nauseum because, 1, I believe he's very talented. 2, he had a huge increase in targets from his rookie to sophomore year, and entering year 3, he projects to be the second target in this passing offense. So Cole Komet is somebody I am taking. And now with Rodgers and Komet, I don't have to spend my last 2 picks on another quarterback or another tight end to stream. I can go ahead and just have some faith that those 2 guys are going to produce for me. Cole Komet's going to break out for me, and I can take shots at other players. One I am very shocked that he's still available is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who, you talk about a guy who has succeeded on the field, downfield. Aaron Rodgers and him, the second most productive duo downfield since 2019. I think they were like 18.5 yards per completion. I'll take a shot on MVS producing with Pat Mahomes. And that just throws one more wide receiver into the mix for us that we can hope hits. And we get to our last. And it's funny, I probably did 3 or 4 mocks practicing for this stream. Got Damian Pierce in every single one. Didn't get him here, but got Edmonds and Penny, which I feel really, really solid about. It now just comes down to, who do you want to take a shot on? Is it a wide receiver? Is it a running back? There's so many players that we could take here. Rondell Moore is very interesting. Khalil Herbert, I think I have soured on just a little bit. David Montgomery got like 90% of the snaps in preseason, and Khalil Herbert was not really used. So that kind of speaks to me that they're going to go full steam ahead with Montgomery. It won't be a committee. Jamal Williams is a really nice backup. And then you've got these really, shiny and popular names, Isaiah Pacheco and Romeo Doubs, who have been making splashes all over preseason. When I look at these positions, it's like, who's going to potentially return the most value to me? Somebody that I can hold for a couple weeks and then maybe trade, or just have somebody I can plug and play in my starting lineup. I see Clyde Edwards-Helaire as the one in Kansas City. There's no reason to believe otherwise. I think Ronald Jones is going to get cut, which is crazy to say. This is a really interesting spot. I'm just going to go with Jahan Dotson. Somebody I think that can mimic and mirror Terry McLaurin. For all the reasons we love Terry McLaurin, we should probably really like Jahan Dotson as well. Had a really good preseason. So just another guy to throw in the mix. Could have gone running back, but we'll save that for the waivers coming up in a couple weeks. So this team, really, really balanced, nice and solid. I believe lots of value. Jefferson, Brown, Godwin, Mooney, Valdez-Scantling, and Jahan Dotson, the rookie, in wide receiver. Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Chase Edmonds, Rashad Penny at running back. I think a lot of upside with those later two running backs. And then Aaron Rodgers and Cole Komet at our quarterback and tight end positions. If you are drafting in a league with a kicker and a defense, my recommendation would be don't draft either. Spend those later round, 13, 14, 15 round picks on players that potentially could increase the value of your roster going into week one. And then you can make those decisions later, maybe doing a 2-for-1 trade with somebody who has matured in value, maybe dropping somebody who didn't materialize and picking up that kicker and defense for a preferable week one matchup instead of trying to take a defense that's going to be a season-long win for you. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about my team. What would you have done differently? What was your favorite pick? And we answer every single comment. So if you're navigating your own drafts, maybe you got a slow draft and you want some recommendations, some help, hit us up, leave us a comment, or join our Discord. The link is in the episode description. Best of luck to you guys in your drafts this coming week. And stay tuned to the channel for more content. Until the next time, we'll see you later.